Oh no, Shane Gillis SNL. And I can't be on SNL anymore with that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Group Chat. It's me, Robbie Goodwin. I'm here with Zac Amico. You know him from the news lately.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on, brother.
The infamous, evil, real-ass podcast.
Or if you watch NBC News or Fox, The Real Podcast. They blocked out ass.
Shane said it on the Real Behind podcast. Yeah, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
Zach's wearing some cool ass tie dye. Yeah, I wanted to have Zach in for like an interview, but the Shane thing's been on my mind like fucking crazy, which is funny because I don't think Shane would want me to think about him this much.
No, Shane wants us to all just everyone go back to their daily lives.
Really?
And let him be funny, I bet.
Have you talked to him at all?
No. Shane was I went out with a bunch of guys right before my wedding, and Shane was there. It was the last time I see him, so I saw him about a week ago.
Yeah, my last podcast I recorded was in that 3-hour span between him getting SNL and him getting fired.
Yeah.
So my last podcast, it came out Monday, and it's just me going, "Congrats, Shane, you did it! Awesome job, man! This is great." It's like all the news is like he's fired and all this shit. But yeah,
he'll be fine. He's so fucking funny, dude. He'll land on his feet.
Yeah. I know if I was talking to Shane, he'd be like, "What do you fucking think about this, dude? You're fucking gay," you know? But it's just like it's a bummer for me because Shane's one of my favorite comics in the city, to be honest. Like I'm mostly just like I'm not really friends with Shane. I'm friendly with him. He was always like super cool to me and like pretty supportive of me and all that stuff. And it sucks to see a guy that I like really like see around funny, and it's like, oh shit. I think you tweeted actually like, oh, they fucking got something, like SNL like got something right when they hired him. That's how I felt too. I was like, oh shit, a funny guy I see around who I'm a fan of got SNL. This like, I feel like it never happens anymore.
I mean, when's the last time a good stand-up was on
SNL?
I mean, excluding Che, who doesn't really do sketches.
Right, he just does update. See, that's the thing. I was like, oh man, Shane could be like the next Norm. You know what I mean? Because like they have that same unfiltered thing, and I think they could have totally gotten Shane on fucking Weekend Update or something.
But it's not that show anymore. It's a show that used to have stand-ups and improv people.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is the fucking UCB machine. And do you bow to the fucking gods of improv?
Yeah,
there's no room for, this is what we think. And I thought Shane was gonna have issues just because of the amount of. Not that even he's a Trump supporter, but that he makes fun of being like a redneck type middle America kind
He looks
of
like
dude.
a Trump supporter. That's a big part of all this. I think that's why people who don't know him, he was on the news. He's on the fucking news. And people just see him and they're like, that guy. He has a joke about it. They're like, that guy looks like he would vote for fucking Trump or whatever.
Yeah.
And that really worked against him. But I remember he left a sketch show because it was too right-wing.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't fucking... They're not cutting him. They don't look at the good thing. Like Bill Burr and Jim Jeffries was on Spade's show, and Burr was like, "Why don't we fucking look at the good thing someone did? Why is it always the bad thing?" It's like, yeah. I think what's so depressing to me is just all these people are hearing about Shane for the first time, and here he's the racist guy, quote unquote, and they're like, "Oh yeah, then he is." Yeah. They don't take time to like get to know a person. He's dehumanized, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we'll go with this."
Yeah,
he's
instead
not
of what he should be, which is that guy retarded?
This guy has Down syndrome for sure. Is he okay? Yeah, they should be celebrating SNL's first Down syndrome hire.
Just be every sketch. He's just retarded.
All right, guys, let's get out there and hustle. What was up with that football coach sketch? But yeah, so Zach, you're like one of the few comics I kind of saw come out and like really go gung ho for Shane, and of course, I mean that's kind of I wouldn't expect you to ever come out against him. What's crazy to me, all the fucking comics that I like and are funny that came out against him really hard. Like Scott Aukerman was one of my heroes, like coming up. He apparently blocked a bunch of people he blocked like Joe DeRosa and Big J just for fucking supporting Shane.
Yeah, I've been blocked by James Adomian for like a year, just for being associated with the Skanks.
Really?
And
yeah, Adomian unfollowed me over this.
And I don't. I don't get it. There's a couple people that I was bummed by. Some people I think were just doing their due diligence. My bummer was Dana Gould.
Yeah.
Who,
I saw that coming, though. If you listen to him on podcasts lately, he's very, like...
what was it, 2 years ago he got in trouble for calling Alexis Arquette a tranny? Like, bro, they just did this. And listen, I get where he's coming from, why this would be his hill, because he's got the 3 Chinese daughters.
Oh,
he's got 3 adopted Chinese daughters.
I didn't even think about that.
So, of course, he's gonna, that's a world he doesn't want his daughters in, or something he doesn't want to explain to his daughters.
Yeah, and Scott Aukerman has a Asian wife, so I mean, look, I feel for it. I just don't understand this thing of, like, let's get this guy fired because we don't like it, instead of, like, realizing, like, Patton Oswalt especially, man, that guy. I remember it was edgy at the time when he was like, he did a bit and the whole bit was like, what if we hit midgets with a hammer, then they turn a bunch of gold pennies? That's like it was like, he used to be like an edgelord kind of guy, you know?
I don't think Patton was that big. I think Patton was more against the people that were saying, this is satire. I don't think he was, because he never said Shane. He never named him. He never chastised him. He was more arguing with the people saying this is a free speech issue.
Right. Well, I think he was making fun of Shane's apology. A lot of people got mad at Shane because he said, I'm a comic that pushes boundaries in his apology. But it's like people are reacting that like he's like he went out of his way to like brand himself as like the edgy comic who pushes boundaries.
Can I tell you? I actually, if I was fantasy booking this, I think Shane should have done a real sincere apology. Like, I'm so sorry to anyone I offended of the Asian American race, of LGBTQ people. I am not a racist. I was trying to be funny, but I'm sincerely sorry. I would never say anything like that again. And then in the same tweet and go, and now a translated tweet for my Asian American fans, and literally just have it say like, Ching Chong Bok Choy, ding ding ding, General So, Shane Gillis. If he had done that,
and then he lights 30 Rock on fire like the Joker, he pushes a button.
Can you imagine like a real sincere apology and then just all like fake Chinese?
Yeah, someone on the internet said he should have just said, me so sorry. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I didn't want to, like, this stuff just makes me want to, like, lean in. I mean, that's the unfortunate cause. Is like, it makes you want to, like.
It makes you want to say horrible
things because it's like, oh, this is off limits now.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not that guy. I never wanted to really be this guy, but it's like, what is fucking happening, man? Like, you lose. Because it's not like Shane went on SNL and said these things. And by the way, if he did in 2000, it would have been fine. Will Ferrell said the N-word on SNL in 2001. And I got in an argument.
He couldn't remember Tim Meadows' name.
Get over here. What's the name of that?
What's the name of that race that can't control the volume of their voice? I have a sketch idea.
Ron Dark Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy suit at a wedding.
That it's just like the cultural amnesia people seem to have. Like my buddy from high school I watched things with like tweeted at me and he was like, Robbie, I don't like that you keep taking the perspective of comics who punch down. And I'm like, one of my last memories of hanging out with you was watching Eastbound and Down for the first time. You're like, this is fucking hilarious. It's like, do you not remember thinking this was funny at all? You don't remember? It was not that long ago. Now it's like this is going to get people fired. It's like so crazy how recent people just forget like what.
I think the whole idea of punching down is insane because that means you think you're higher than you're higher than someone in some type of food chain.
Yeah. Also, it can be funny to punch down. I'm sorry. It can be funny to do that. It's like
then there would be no funny things about homeless people.
Yeah, or like I mean, yeah, it's like and like when you make fun of Trump for being a dumb big fat guy, that's punching down on a level because you're making fun of him for being fat.
Yeah.
That's funny though. It's funny to be like, God damn, that guy's fucking fat.
Or if you make fun of him for having a little dick or whatever you want to say.
Right, yeah. Stuff he can't control. That's punching down. But it's funny. And like a big thing about it and then the argument they try to make against why Shane shouldn't be on SNL is well, what about all the people who worked hard to get there and then they have to work with the racist guy or whatever? It's like, first of all, you're judging him as a racist guy because of jokes. And second of all, like, okay, let me put it this way. I'm half Afghani, right? But I'm also a comedian.
Over.
Oh, no, am I bombing this? But I heard Zach Galifianakis say "sand N" in a joke. I would fucking kill someone to work with Zach Galifianakis. Do you know why? I don't think he's racist because he made that joke.
Yeah.
And the whole joke, by the way, it wasn't like he was just saying like, oh, I thought I heard someone call it sand N, but the whole joke was get out of the sand N or whatever. And I would love to work with Zach because I don't confuse fucking jokes with like actual hatred towards someone's identity. And I would like to think that if you're working on a comedy show, the other comics wouldn't want to either. Do you know what I mean? Like, or at least would understand a little bit. Like, give you some slack for that kind of thing. It's not, and it's like, because do you think these people really think Shane is racist, or do you think they gotcha'd him for racist jokes and they're kind of like playing pretend?
I think it's not plausible that article came out within 5 hours of him getting announced.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had that saved.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking Seth Simons. If he didn't have it saved, somebody in Philly that doesn't like Shane had that shit pocketed. Going wait because they saw he got new faces. They saw he was getting all this buzz. They knew he was gonna get something.
Yeah,
and they go, we're gonna fuck this up for him because they're jealous little bitches.
Mm-hmm. I actually saw that original tweet thread, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. It was Philly open micer, like a very fringe element of Philly open micers who basically were like, ugh, Shane got this thing. I hope maybe Seth Simons would like to write about this.
Yeah.
And he's like, ooh, DM me. What? Ooh, what's the juicy details? Ooh, what can I snitch?
And of course, like, people have that saved. People were gunning for him, and this Seth Simons guy apparently, like, he's got a real boner for SNL. I think Che said that.
Yeah,
like, he's their background on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, he has Jost on his phone. I know Seth a little bit. He actually stayed. He's friends with my roommate. He stayed with us last couple of times he was in New York, and like, whatever. Like, he was friendly enough to me and everything like that. I think this like online behavior is evil. I think what he's doing is evil, and it doesn't come from a place of any sort of good. I don't think it comes from a place of wanting to make the world a better place.
It also doesn't come from a place of talent.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from a place of funny. Because if he possessed that or was able to be that, he would not be a fucking journalist.
He's not even a journalist.
Or whatever the fuck he is.
He's a fucking Twitter guy. He worked at Pace and got fired. Mm-hmm. And I guess, and now he's in LA. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to become a professional snitch.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, it's kind of fucking working. Like, he's getting notoriety and Twitter followers from this. And so his whole thing is his other thing, it was covering UCB for not paying improv people. Mm-hmm. And look, I don't like UCB. I'm not I think that they have their own bullshit politics, but Seth goes after them. And I think if Seth had to choose between UCB paying performers and going down, like just UCB being destroyed, he would pick UCB being destroyed over comedians getting paid 10 times out of 10 for sure. But he's couching it as, I'm a good person. I'm just watching out for you, buddy. Yeah. Just trying to get the people paid. But it's like, no. I just want to tear.
With improv, they could pretend to get paid.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and you just got paid. They're just handing each other.
Pay stand-ups. They wrote a joke. They didn't fucking pretend to eat a sandwich.
I mean, that is bullshit that UCB doesn't pay stand-up comics. It's like,
of course.
Yeah, you're selling out for $10 seats. Like, yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, if Seth wanted to, like, Seth isn't wrong to go after UCB for that kind of thing, but the place it comes from is very ugly and very clearly
it's self-serving bullshit.
He failed as a comic. Sorry, I might fail, probably will, but I'm not gonna fucking devote my life to tearing down comedy and making it worse if I do. I'll fucking go work for my dad, or whatever. Yeah.
No, it's just
I'm not gonna stay online all the time and try to like get Tim Heidecker retweets.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, look, tattle, look at me.
Yeah, no, it's self-serving, unfunny, sniveling cunt behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Or, Jake Flores shit.
What's with Shane Gillis? Wait, fuck, I've never heard of him. I hate Louis even though I'm basically sound like him exactly. You had your own problems with Jake Flores, huh?
Just I hate all these people. Just go do your own thing, man. Just don't fuck. Why fuck up somebody else's gig? Why fuck up if people are having fun and no one's being bothered? Why fucking harp on it other than the fact that you have nothing going on and you're not funny enough to do it on your own? It's fucking these Brooklyn fucking comedy barnacles is what they are. They fucking attach their fucking shells to the bottom of ships that are going somewhere in hopes that they can get a little bit of fucking recognition because they can't do it on their own.
That's exactly what it is. They're fucking barnacles. They are barnacles, dude. And by the way, look, Seth, honestly, I'm going to do a little bit of compassion. Even though you might get some people saying thank you, nobody in comedy likes you for this.
It's
even the people who agree with you and want Shane off the show, they don't like you, Seth. I've been talking to a lot of comics, and I've had back and forth with people over the severity of what Shane did, or if he should be on SNL. Like, there's a lot of nuance to a lot of the arguments I'm having. I haven't gotten in fierce arguments, but the one thing that seems everyone can seem to agree on is fuck Seth Simons for this kind of thing, because it's fucking bullshit. And by the way, like, I don't like the feeling. I unfollowed him. I hope he unfollows me, because right now, what it feels like, Seth, and this is on you, man. This is on you for making this your brand. Right now, what I feel like with Seth following me, it's not a friend following me. It feels like in Goodfellas when the helicopter is over fucking Ray Liotta as he's doing coke. It's like, okay, maybe I'm in deviant behavior, but you want to be the fucking helicopter. Imagine wanting that. Imagine wanting to be the guy.
Imagine wanting your position in entertainment to be the guy that said, teacher, he said a bad word.
Yeah, and I'm venting at you because I'm fucking scared of you, Seth. Are you happy? I'll bet you are. Are you fucking happy that you're the hall monitor, the RA of comedy? Is that what you want to be? Yes, I do, because it's making the world a better place. No, you're just getting people expelled, and the institutions that you hate are going to go on exactly as they are, and these, basically guys like Shane. Are you happy Shane's back to being fucking poor? He didn't have a job. He gets paid from spots, basically.
One thing I learned, and it took me all of college to figure out with an RA.
Yeah.
I remember I would get in trouble every year for either smoking pot in the room or whatever. And my senior year, we were all drinking in the courtyard, and the RA came up and said, "All right, you guys aren't allowed to drink here. I need everybody's IDs. You're all getting written up." And I just went, "Nah," and I walked away. And I just walked out of the building with my beer and went to another spot.
Rules.
And she was like, "You can't leave." I went, "Nah." I went, "You can't tell." I was like, "I don't give a shit." And everyone else that had their IDs in their hands just all looked at her and just put their IDs back in their pocket and walked away. It was like, what, is she going to fucking put me in a headlock?
That's like a Bart Simpson move.
Like,
that rules.
Like,
you have no real jurisdiction.
It's like fucking look the other way, George Zimmerman. Who gives a fuck?
Oh my God.
So that's how I think people eventually, with dudes like that, they're just gonna stop listening, and they're gonna stop giving them eventually, everyone's gonna go, fuck them.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to take a while for people to stop being so overreactionary, but I think the pendulum will swing that way.
I kept thinking the pendulum was swing that way because not a lot of people got that mad at Chappelle besides the critical community. Not that many people got that mad at Burr. I was like, and then Shane gets hired. It's like, holy shit, fucking. But then it's like, then suddenly the fucking panic of like, jokes are real. It comes up again. And yeah, I know he said a slur, but yeah, once again, not that uncommon in most comedy up until 2013. Because you know what? The whole joke was, I can't believe he said that. He's not allowed to say that. That's funny. And so now they're saying, he's not allowed to say that. So he shouldn't be allowed to have any jobs in entertainment ever again because now there's an online paper trail. And by the way, people are like, he'll be fine. I don't care if he'll be fine. It should be more than if you make jokes and you make people laugh and you get your own fan base and you work that hard. You shouldn't be excluded from basically writing for TV without some fucking barnacles, as you said, chasing you down every time you get a job because they're jealous and getting you fired. Like, you know who does less research on your past? Regular jobs. Regular jobs don't look into you that hard usually. And so why does Shane have more scrutiny on him if he gets SNL than if he worked at a startup, so people are saying, oh, you can't work at SNL. Okay, because if the argument's like, oh, his coworkers might not like that he said that. So where do you want him to work, huh? Cracker Barrel, a startup? Because there's no difference. Maybe those coworkers there aren't comfortable with him. And by the way, it's actually worse because his coworkers wouldn't be comedians and wouldn't be able to be like, I get it, man. It's regular people like, that's the guy who said the thing. Oh my God, I'm scared. And I would kind of get it. But you want SNL to be elected office because you have no control. My friend Sam, who was on a couple of weeks ago, said they're mad that they can't get everyone to vote how they want. So they want to exert that kind of control they wish they could have at the ballot box on TV, and it works. It fucking works.
I can't remember who somebody said this hilarious thing. It's like, all right, guys, you win. He's off. See y'all in November.
Dude, I'm not gonna vote. Of course, I'm not gonna vote for Trump. I'm gonna vote Democrat. I'm voting for Yang now, dude. But it really makes me like hate liberals. It really does. It makes me just like, and I am a liberal, by the way. I'm a very liberal person. I voted Democrat my whole life, and I've always been very political and usually very liberal, and this just makes me like I was like I wanted to like register as an independent instead of Democrat. That's what pushes me away, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys just like me who aren't saying anything, who are liberals, who are like, this is fucking scary. It's scary.
It's not scary. It's fucking gross.
It's gross. I think it's straight up evil. A lot of the guys. I mean, look, I think if you are like a Chinese person and you're just a regular person, I get it. I get why you'd be offended. I get why those words would hurt you. But I think there's so much behind this mob mentality of they know they can go after this guy because he has no fan base and no one's going to push back. Like, he has a minor fan base and he has his friends, and a lot of his friends are going to be quiet. Like, they didn't do the same thing to Chappelle for doing Chinese face. They didn't even, like, mention that because they know Dave's, like, untouchable and he has a huge fan base. Shane doesn't have a fan base, so they know they can go after him. And they're like, their whole idea is like, a whole bunch of it is, I'm jealous. I should be on SNL, or I wish I was on SNL, or though that's a dream job. Like, as comics, we heard working at SNL sucks, but regular people and bloggers, they all probably would watch SNL growing up, and they're like, I wish I had SNL. Why does this guy get SNL? He looks like my bully. He looks like a Trump supporter. He shouldn't have it. It's all people's childhood.
Shane's big dumb white face is a big part of this.
Yeah, I actually think if he looked like Nick Mullen, he'd be fine. Yeah. If this was Nick Mullen getting it, he'd be fine because he's like, oh, he looks like a Brooklyn hipster, so he's on our side.
Nick's Chinese accent is impeccable.
It is amazing. Like, they should give him a lifetime really pass. Good. They give him because it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. His story about going into a Chinese-owned gun store, and they're just like, get out of here now. It's like, you don't want me to buy anything?
I got kicked out. I used to live I still live in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, but I used to live real deep into Bay Ridge, like 95th Street. And every bodega would just be like 7 Arab dudes sitting on chairs talking, and then you walk in and literally like, and everyone just stares at you until you make your purchase. And right before I moved, me and my chick were like, I think every bodega here is a front.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone buy anything.
Yeah.
And I went into a bodega on my way to work. Same older Middle Eastern dudes smoking a cigarette at the counter. I admire that move.
Incredible.
I went, hey, man, do you have Altoids? And he goes, ugh. I went, like, mints, gum, mints, anything like that? And he goes, get out.
He told you to leave?
Because I asked if the corner store had mints or gum.
One of the most common things you buy at a bodega. He's like,
we went to right when me and my wife started dating on 86th Street in Brooklyn. It's another I'm not sure if half the businesses are real, and it's like $4.50 on a Sunday. And for those of you that are not alcoholics, most liquor stores on Sundays in New York close at 5.
I did not know that.
So I go, let's go grab a bottle of vodka real quick before the liquor store closes.
Wait, 5 p.m. they close?
Just on Sundays.
Weird. That's like a puritanical kind of thing, huh? That's
yeah. You can't buy booze you can't buy beer after 3 a.m. on Saturday. Starts up again at noon, and you can't buy hard liquor. Usually, all the liquor stores close around 5.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Just on Sundays. Okay. But so we go one of the same.
How am I supposed to celebrate the Lord?
One of these stores that I'm like, I don't know if this is a real liquor store. We go to open up, the door's locked. And we go, oh, fuck it, you're not going to go. And then this lady comes and she goes, sorry, the door is locked because we don't want the cat to get out. And she lets us in. And from the outside, it looked like a liquor store. We go in. Every shelf just had one bottle and nothing behind it. But it was, from the outside, the way it was angled, was it looked like shelves full of liquor. And we grabbed one bottle of vodka. and the whole thing was empty.
Oh my god!
So, like their whiskey section was a bottle of Jack Daniels, a bottle of Jim Beam with nothing behind it.
Jesus!
And we're like, oh my god, this store has like 15 bottles of liquor in it.
It's a liquor store.
Yeah. So we go to buy a bottle of vodka, like $25. The lady just opens the drawer, no cash register, and just has a few bills in a blank drawer.
Oh my god!
And hands us change. She goes, "Thank you." And we walk out, and she locks the door again behind
my god!
us. And we're like, "Oh, somebody's being murdered in the back of that store."
Oh my god! That rules.
There was no alcohol. It was an empty store.
Dude, there's this poke place in off Myrtle Wyckoff by where I live, and it is like it has the weirdest hours. First of all, it's cash only, already weird for a poke place where it's like $14 poke bowls, whatever.
Yeah,
poke bowls not bad, but I'll go there on like Saturday at 2, and it's like closed. I'm walking home from the bar at like 3 a.m. They're open. It's like, what the fuck is happening in here? This is so weird.
Yeah, there's so many stores. Like,
yeah,
my new neighborhood is same makeup but less shady.
Mm-hmm.
But that was always so every day was just 7 dudes sitting in a circle.
Yeah.
Fucking talk about baklava. And then you walk in and the whole place gets silent.
I like that they're just every one of them's talking about baklava.
That's what I'm guessing.
The white man's coming and talk about baklava. My favorite move, bodega guys, I don't think they're a front, but they're always on the phone. It's like, what do you want, my friend? What do you want?
Same with cab drivers. I want to be like, who the fuck are you talking to? It's 3 a.m.
There's always some cousin, man, on the West Coast.
Dude, I already told the college story, but when I was in college, we had a security guard that we called because he was this not old, he was like this real middle-aged, smooth black dude, and every sentence started with yeah. Like, yeah, you going out tonight? Yeah. It would be like, we come home and he smelled like weed. He'd be like, yeah, you had a good night. I can smell it. Yeah.
I love those guys.
And yeah, would be on the phone at like, come home from drinking at like 4:30 in the morning, and yeah, would just be spitting game to some bitch on the phone. And I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to at 4:30? And one time we drank all night, like the sun's coming up. It's like 5:30 in the morning, coming in, spitting game on the phone. He's like, yeah, how about I come over after my shift? Yeah, come on, I'll come over, baby girl. And then there's a pause, and he goes, well, what time she got to be at school? I was like, you're just talking to some girl's mom.
My God.
You're just talking to a kid's mom.
Oh, my God.
Seeing if you can come over and fuck.
Yeah, as a pedophile.
No, what time does she have to be? Like, he's talking to the mom.
Oh, okay. I thought he was fucking the kid.
No, but what time she got to be at school? Because he was hoping that the mom could drop off the kid and then come over and fuck because he had a night job.
Amazing. That's
dude,
so cool.
Yeah, ruled.
I want to be that guy. There's this homeless guy in Boston who was like known for making incredible small talk. Like he'd go on for 30 minutes. Like one time, me and my friend, he was getting home from some like theme party. And he's dressed as a banana, and he goes up, he's like, "Hey, we all going back for Thanksgiving? What are we eating? Huh?" Like he'd go for 20 minutes, and my friend was just making insane small talk with this guy for 30 minutes in a banana costume on the street. After 40 minutes about talking about how great Thanksgiving was, he's like, "Anyway, do you have any?" It's like, what is the game plan here, man? You're really working for this. There's also a guy on the subway who I keep seeing. I think he's on the L every time around the time I have to take it, and he's like this like white guy who like looks like a guitar player, and he gets on there and he's like, "Does anyone have any change? Come on, guys! No one's paying attention." Like he's complaining. It's like, dude, you're choosing to do that. Like, I know it's not bad. It's bad you're homeless, but does this work? Is this an effective strategy to like act like you're complaining about your like job?
I live off the R, and there's 3 that cycle. There's one guy looks like Charles Manson, who we call Pardon My Presence, because everything starts with Pardon My Presence.
Right.
There's Old Deuteronomy, who you've definitely seen. He's a giant man with like a huge like flat afro, and he's got like tissue box shoes. Have you ever seen? He sings.
I haven't seen this
he
guy.
Goes,
No.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And he sings his whole thing.
Oh wow!
And he rules. And then, so my brother-in-law is an MTA cop. So when we get homeless people that like we see all the time on the subway, we could be like, "What's their deal?" Because he's had to arrest them.
Oh wow, crazy.
So we have this lady that we called Hot Dog Titties. Pretty self-explanatory. Crackheady lady, not crazy old, would always just be naked on the train. And it was either be naked and hitting herself, or she would dress up like a nun and like tie shit around her head and bow and get on her knees in front of people and ask for money. So she, the one of those two personalities always came out. So we were like, hey, do you know Hot Dog Titties? And he goes, oh, that's Dominique. And we go, what? He goes, oh, he goes, Dominique is banned from every hospital in New York City.
Oh, my God.
For attacking staff members.
Whoa. What the fuck?
And we
Why?
had for biting people,
Oh, Jesus.
I saw her smoke crack once on the 59th Street platform. But, so he goes, but I know her backstory because we looked her up one time because we had to drive her like 2 hours away to put her in a hospital. I host a horror movie show, so I'm like a super horror nerd.
Yeah.
He goes, so we looked her up and we found the articles on her like we Googled her, and she lived. So her dad or stepdad or somebody killed her whole family.
Oh my God.
And kept her hostage.
Oh my God.
And it was all these articles. And at the end of the article, it goes, their house was later used for filming of the movie Basket Case 2 and 3. And I was like, I love those movies. I want to meet her now.
Basket Case 1 is good. I haven't seen 2 or 3.
2 and 3 rule.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're like super goofy body horror. And excuse me, it was before that. In the article, it goes, the house had previously been used for independent film shoots, including Basket Case 2 and 3.
That's amazing. I mean, horror movie legend.
Yeah, horror movie legend. Dominique Hot Dog Titties.
Horror fans do love Basket Case. She sounds like a bit of a basket case.
Oh, dude, she's horrendous. It's the best. It's one of the you know that impending dread on the subway when you see someone crazy about to get on, and it'll be like stand clear of the closing doors, like ding ding, and then you just see them about to come on, and you're like, no,
I was about to have a pleasant ride.
She literally will be naked, beating herself,
Jesus,
screaming. And get on the train, and you're like, well, that's my morning now.
Look, I mean, I get it, man. I've been there when I need to do my morning commute. When the L train's packed, I want to beat myself the fuck up.
She comes out screaming and beating herself.
Oh, man. That's, God. See, that's the thing is, like, New York, I know a lot of my LA friends will be like, what are you doing? You're making fun of these homeless people or whatever. Live in New York for a year.
And yeah, it'll all be gone.
You'll be like, you won't believe the fucking guy I saw on the subway.
I had a lady squat in my old building.
We're existing with these people, by the way. In LA, you just like kind of drive by a bunch of tents. Oh, that's sad. Imagine having to carpool with homeless people every day.
In my old building, which is a real shithole, I had a lady that squatted, and they kept trying to kick her out. I guess she was. I guess she lived with some dude. He moved out, and she wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Her name was Denise McMahon. I only know that because they put up wanted posters all over the building. She would sit in our lobby and ask people for money while she just chugged Tall Boys, going hard, right? And I guess she would try and follow people back into their apartments like she was a real nightmare. And she started shitting in the elevator.
Oh, my God.
So imagine 6 a.m. This is when I still had to go to work early.
Right.
Like I had a real person job. And at 6 a.m. and just an elevator full of diarrhea. You're like, taking the stairs.
It comes out like the blood in The Shining.
Yeah. And there would be signs all over like, Denise McMahon defecates in the elevator. Please do not let her in the building.
That's so funny. That's great because it's like, everyone's like, okay, I guess there had to be a reason they had to put up that sign whenever they pass by.
Dude, I got chumped by a little kid in the elevator the other day in my building. So I go to get on my elevator. First of all, if it's just a child on an elevator, I don't want to get on.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be alone with a child.
No, I can't talk to children.
It's weird.
I can't do it. That's like a big reason I don't want to have kids, at least for a while. For right now, it's just like talking to kids. Like it's fucking hard. I have nothing in common with you. I was smart when I was a kid. You are dumb. Most kids are very dumb.
So I go to get on. I live on the 6th floor. I go to get on the elevator, and I'm the top floor. So this kid obviously was trying to get to another floor, didn't press the right button.
Right.
So I get on. The elevator floor is soaked. And I look, and I go to get on the door opens. He goes, somebody spilled water. I went, all right, man. And I step over it, and the elevator closes, and I realize he's holding his shirt over his crotch.
Oh no!
And this kid has
he pissed.
I mean,
Jesus.
The elevator is covered in piss.
Jesus Christ!
Like somebody dropped a pitcher of water.
Ew.
Like, it's everywhere.
That is disgusting.
And he's standing there, and he goes, somebody dropped water. I went, okay, man. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him like, don't freak, because I don't want to freak him out either.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to make this worse for him.
Right, totally.
So he presses 2. We're going down, and he looks at me, and he goes, I like your shirt. I went, hey, thanks, man. He goes, don't call me man. I went, oh, I'm sorry, dude. He goes, don't call me dude. I went, I'm sorry. He goes, don't call me anything. Don't talk to me. And he's screaming. And now I'm freaking out because now it's just me, a child, and urine. And he's yelling at me.
Right.
You don't talk to me. And I was like, all right, man. And I just look at the wall, and he goes, I'm gonna have to change my pants. And I go, yeah, probably, man.
Yeah.
And he goes, I fell outside. I fell in water. I went, uh-huh. And then he just gets off, and then now it's just me and piss.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's a line of people waiting to get on the elevator.
Yeah.
And now it opens up, and it looks like I pissed in the elevator.
Yeah.
Fresh. And I had to go, it was a whole thing, guys.
I did not piss. That sucks when you have to clarify that.
So this isn't my piss over, I mean, the walls, the floor, I don't know how this kid could have pissed so much.
Right. And that kid was Seth Simons, everybody.
It was so bad, just telling old people, get in there, was like, hey, this is covered in piss, and I don't think it's my fault.
Yeah.
Because then I also don't want him.
The Curb Your Enthusiasm music starts.
Yeah, I don't want him going home to his family and being like, hey, you know that fat guy on the 6th floor?
Oh, my God.
He made me pee my pants in front of him.
Oh, no.
So I'm just trying to, ignore the situation.
Yeah, that's tough. What if this is just what happened to R. Kelly?
It's just a series. By the way, if that's the R. Kelly story, it's just a series of misunderstandings, and then
R. Kelly singing the Curb. Da, 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 da.
It's just him with a blindfold on, being like, "This is a weird toilet."
Why am I in this schoolhouse?
Mr. Kelly, no. Again.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, as you said, you're a big horror movie man. I gotta ask, what do you think is the best? What is the best horror movie? Do you go with the classics like Texas? I think Texas Chainsaw is probably my favorite, or Shining. But I know you know a lot more about horror movies than I, and so. But I'm wondering if those classics are the classics for a reason, or is there something else?
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna beat the Shining, Exorcist,
which I just saw for the first time a year ago.
So good.
It's great.
I actually think The Omen is on that list as well, because that was one of the first really big budget horror movies with famous people in it.
Right.
Because Exorcist didn't really have a famous person per se.
Yeah.
Not to Gregory Peck's level. Shining did, but that was kind of a different story.
Right.
I think pound for pound, it's probably Halloween.
Halloween is amazing.
Because just what it cost to what it made is bananas.
It also the ethos of the horror movie is kind of small budget, big scares, and that really works a lot in its favor.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the other day, because Rob Zombie's back in the news a little bit because he's working on 3 from Hell.
Yeah, I just saw it on Monday.
And you saw it? Mm-hmm. Is it good?
It is the Return of the Jedi of the 3 movies.
So Ewoks show up.
Literally, there's a midget. Yeah, I liked it. I liked long stretches of it because I love the characters.
Right.
I don't know if I would have. I don't know if it was worth the journey to bring those characters back for what it was.
Right.
But I'm happy it's made. I'm happy people are working.
Yeah.
I'm happy there's more of the thing I like.
Yeah.
But it's also just.
It's not on the same level.
It's following up what I think is a perfect movie.
Rejects?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to retcon that ending I don't think was worth the journey.
Yeah, it's tough. House of a Thousand Corpses is really good. It's half really good, I think, and half kind of goofy. But
that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really like it. Rob Zombie's super divisive, I feel like, in a lot of horror movie circles, but I really like what he does. And I was thinking about his Halloween remake, and I like it as its own horror thing, but I think it kind of misses, or it sets out to redo the original Halloween a little bit, but But I think explaining what Michael Myers is and
Makes
how he
him
got
less
that,
scary.
yeah, because I think that idea that it's so less is more. With he's just the supernatural, but also a man. But he's
Okay,
like,
imagine how
so
less
infinitely
scary
evil.
Jaws would be.
Yeah.
If you saw a bunch of people be mean to the shark in the beginning.
The shark's mom just doesn't understand him.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck. It's Michael Myers is a shark.
Yeah.
I don't need to know his backstory. Actually,
Yeah.
why I liked his Halloween 2 better.
Yeah, because it's just crazy.
Because then it just went.
Yeah.
I need I thought his problem with his Halloween was it was all backstory.
Yeah.
And then they tried to cram the entire
In the third
movie
act, a whole movie in a third act.
in a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I didn't give a fuck about
That
the
sucked.
people.
That last half hour is horrible.
I
think
didn't
it's
care.
like really bad. Did you try to cram a whole fucking movie?
It should have been just a prequel.
Yeah. Yes.
And have him escape and it hit the music.
Yeah.
The first time you hear the da-da-da-da-da-da is when
Yeah.
he escapes. Fucking credits.
I agree. That would have been cool. That would have been like an awesome style exercise.
They call it fucking Mischief Night, whatever the fuck.
Right.
The night before Halloween, whatever the fuck you want to
It's
call it.
kind of like what the new Joker is a little bit.
Yes.
Like it's like if they did that new Joker, but the last 20 minutes was just Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And like but I kind of like Rob Zombie just because I think like even though he misses a lot, or
I'm just happy he's taking shots. Like I love
Me
Lord
too.
of Salem.
I love ambition, man. I'm a big fan of ambition and going for it and being over the top and having your own unique style and not being smug about it. I don't think he's smug. I don't think there's any pretension. I think he's just like, look at this fucking cool shit. He's kind of like a nerd who's like showing off his cool gore collection kind of. He just wants to
I'd rather have him shoot the shots because I loved Lord of Salem. I hated 31.
Yeah.
But
nobody
it is.
nobody likes 31.
31 stunk.
I think Lords of Salem is probably his best. Like people say
It's his prettiest movie.
I haven't seen it, but I heard that's his best
gorgeous.
one. Yeah, I got to check it out. And but yeah, I kind of just like that he's like he's kind of like a guy from the aughts, that kind of ethos of aughts filmmaking. He's just kind of held on and still and just doing his thing, and he's ambitious. And I like directors where you watch their movie and you're like, that's a blank movie. You know what I mean? Like that's that kind of guy's movie. Like like Auteur, it's Auteur theory or whatever. And
Kevin Smith,
yeah,
Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly. I love Tarantino
and all the other gifts Harvey Weinstein gave us.
Yeah. All right, you're all gonna have your own unique style. I'll be over there raping. Yeah.
Now, if you leave me in this plant alone.
What's this about? Desperado? I'll tell you, it was desperate the other day. My dick to get hard before I rape.
My first job out of college was security for test screenings.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to wear a suit, and they would do test screenings, and I would give out pencils and questionnaires, and it was like, did you like this movie?
Right.
I worked for Miramax.
Oh shit.
And the Weinstein Company.
Oh damn.
I only did it like 2 or 3 times, and I got fired. And the last time I did it,
because you refused to rape.
they came and got me, and they went, "Hey, we need somebody to actually be like a security guard for something."
Right.
This story sounds like it's going to go way south. It doesn't. They put me in a room. I got my back to the door. Now I'm months out of film school.
Mm-hmm.
I want anyone to. This was before I worked for Trauma. Before I had any connections, anything.
Right.
And they go, "Hey, stand here. Don't talk to anybody. Nobody comes in the door. Nobody comes out." Fucking Harvey and his assistant.
Oh
come in,
hell yes.
and he is fit to be goddamn tied. Assistant leaves. His brother comes in.
Bob
and Harvey fucking scream at each other for 45 minutes.
About what?
About how the movie that they were, I can't remember the name of the movie, it was some period piece.
Okay.
Sucked. And how they were going to lose millions of dollars, and they're blaming each other for it.
Whoa.
Screaming.
Yeah.
I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is Hollywood,
Yeah.
man. And then Harvey's assistant comes back in with a new suit for him because he yelled at his brother so much he sweated through his suit. And I was like, that's service.
I've got yell sweat all over me.
Yeah, he was literally.
Get over here, you little gay assistant. Let me get my new suit.
He sweat through a black suit.
He's like Iron Man. Yeah. Whoa, I got to suit up. I'm worked up.
He had to put on a new suit halfway through a conversation. You know how fat you have to be? You know how fat to be? You have to change because you got in a tiff.
All right, this is my yelling suit. Get me my McDonald's suit. We're on our way. And now I can relax into my raping shorts.
I do love that I have my first Hollywood story. So I'm alone in a room with Harvey Weinstein. I was told not to let anyone in or out the door.
Who among us? Hey, kid, you blocked the door. You're going to go far. Yeah. So we have about 20 minutes left. I just have a few more thoughts about the Shane thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I know you probably don't. You probably talked about like endlessly on Real Ass Podcast, but
Not so much, but I don't mind. It's fine.
it's on my fucking mind just like crazy. I think you actually wrote. You know what's depressing about it is I was on Skankfest this year, which is such a great time. By the way, Skankfest is this festival that the Legion of Skanks put on. Lewis and you were hilarious on the Naked Roast and all that stuff, man. And but they tried to cancel Skankfest this year because Louis showed up. And you had a tweet about it that like really made me feel better about that, where you were just like, "We're over here having fun." And I think that's what's so depressing about all this for me is that Shane got fired and they have all the fun still. They have the TV shows and the Emmys and all that stuff. And now people like me or you even who have podcasts, maybe you're not, but me who...
Oh, no, I've said horrible things.
Exactly. I'm re-listening to podcast episodes and I'm scared of what I'm saying. And I'm thinking just about like how... The only things going really well for me in my quote-unquote career, if you can even call it that, are roast battles and these podcasts.
Yeah.
And those are two things now that will keep me from the dream job that I've been working for almost 10 years to even try to attempt to achieve. And that fear now is in me, and I'm like I'm fucking scared. And it's like, all right, you guys won, and I have no fun to go back to. I have no TV shows to go back to. I have no awards to go back to. You guys have the TV shows. You guys have the Emmys, and you won. You know, score.
I'm more what I guess afraid's not the word, but what's it does scare me a little. So the two things I pretty much have is podcasts and roast battles as well.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the day that if I get something, I have to delete my identity.
Yeah.
Because those two things are the most me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a heightened version of myself.
Yeah.
But I'm very true to myself when I do both those things.
Yeah.
And the idea of having to delete the records of who I am and
the
everything
work.
I
It's
work
not just.
for.
It's fucking work that you. How much
Hundreds
writing,
of hours of writing.
How much writing and preparation for these podcasts and like, honestly, having balls to say this stuff. It's not easy. It's it's work.
It's hours and hours of writing. As far as podcasts, I do Realize Podcast with Lewis 3 days a week. I do my podcast Fridays.
Yeah.
So I'm putting out 6 to 8 hours of content a week.
Yeah, yeah.
That I would have to scrub, and that just seems like so much work.
Absolutely. And it's like, yeah, and I don't want to have. I don't like that. I have to be scared to get a job. To be scared, like we're the first generation where we have to be scared if we get too famous.
Yeah.
Everyone else just like shot for the moon, you know. But something you're gonna be really famous now. It's like I don't want to like, because this what they did to Shane. And he might even be taking it better than, but I'm thinking about myself, you know, because, you know, I've been on the podcast. It's on the news right now. Mm-hmm. What they did to Shane is, and God bless him, I think he'll probably be fine because he's less sensitive than me, basically. But they basically
much more talented.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But they chewed him. They made him famous for being racist. Chewed him up, and he doesn't even get the job anymore. And now he's just known as a racist guy, and that's it. And that is scary. It's like, okay, so if you get a big job. There's a possibility you can be elevated to national thing to be shamed, Shane Gillis, and fired so you don't even get the job. So you get all the pain of being a public figure all of a sudden and none of the reward. So his life would be better maybe if he never got SNL.
I think we also live in a bubble though. Like, so not only are we in this comedy bubble, we're in this New York, LA bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in the middle of the country gives a fuck.
Of course not.
They don't know about it.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't unless they're clicking through.
Well, it was on CNN. That's what makes me think most people. I think my parents know about this story, so I think people do know.
And if they do know, I feel like just most of the country, they're like, what did he say? Chink? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, was he on a funny thing? Being silly? Who cares?
I hope so. I really hope you're right.
He'll be
the thing
absolutely
is that,
fine.
But the thing is that the media doesn't listen to the middle of the country. We learned that they don't listen to like anywhere outside New York, LA. San Francisco, very liberal major city, was on fucking fire, and it was nowhere in it was barely in the news when those fires happened. It was only in the news when Trump visited.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching, and it's like it's just so crazy how there's like they don't pay attention to them, even though that's a lot of the country, and even when a lot of them voted for Donald Trump, they didn't listen. You know what I mean? And like, I also feel like it's like and also like the mainstream news coverage too of the Shane thing. How many people called them racist remarks, racist slurs, racist statements? Like Shane went out and gave a fucking political speech.
Yeah.
Call them what they are. How about jokes? You can say racist jokes. Because you know what the problem is? By its nature, the word jokes invalidates that he was being serious at all or is actually a serious racist. So if they say remarks and statements like the fucking New York Times, why even get involved? How is this newsworthy? They published an op-ed, and their headline for their regular news, not even the op-ed, was racist slurs or racist statements, racist remarks. What doesn't remarks imply he went out there on a podium and was like, okay, well, let me tell you about, it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like Sandler did a full Arab character on SNL.
Yeah.
Death to America!
Yeah.
He did that on SNL. I would kill to work with Sandler. Who are these fucking humorless comedians who are like, I could never imagine, ever. Because I don't think Sandler hates Arab people. I think he was joking, you know?
Well, listen, I think Shane's got a great career. I think he'll do a movie with Mel Gibson.
I can't wait
By the way, all these phony fucking woke pieces of shit, they would do a fucking Mel Gibson movie.
Uh-huh.
They would do a fucking...
They'd take a Woody movie, probably.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Fucking... Hey, all these fucking people that are so mad at Shane. You ever go see Transformers?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's had some choice fucking words for that
Yeah.
Asian guy he almost beat to death while calling him racial slurs.
Yeah. That's the thing. But they all say they hate Mark Wahlberg on Twitter. But if Mark Wahlberg was like, hey, do you want to come be in Pain and Gain too? They'd be like, yes, please, Mr. Wahlberg.
Okay, in all fairness, Pain and Gain is amazing.
I love Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain is so underrated.
I think it's a fucking great movie.
Unironically really good.
No, it's incredible. It's like a Coen's movie or something. It's fucking awesome.
'Cause
you want to talk auteur theory? That is Michael Bay. Michael Bay made his id, and it rules.
It's so good because they advertise it like it's this weightlifting movie, and then you're like, oh my god, it's a movie about The Rock and Mark Wahlberg kidnap Tony Shalhoub and hide him in a dildo factory.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like played super straight, but also like really comedic, and it's dark, and it's me and
somebody's banging that fat Australian broad the whole time. I'm so happy.
Yeah, me and my friend went to go see Pain and Gain and Spring Breakers as both as kind of jokes, and walked away like those movies were fucking
great.
awesome.
Yes.
And that last scene remarks, I won't spoil it, but there's a narration where he goes, I'm Michael Lugo, and I believe in fitness. I get like, fuck yeah, you do, dude.
The Rock on cocaine
Yeah.
at a community watch meeting
Yes.
is my favorite fucking shit.
Yeah. That might be the last time we'll ever see The Rock play like a morally ambiguous character, because he's super shades of gray in that movie. You end up liking him at the end, but he's super he's a criminal.
Yeah.
Super shades of gray. He said, I'm not playing anyone but the hero, and every movie I'm in has a happy ending.
Yeah.
We're never going to see The Rock almost go to jail in a movie ever again. But it's so good. And it's like Mark Wahlberg puts in a super self-aware performance. It's so amazing how Mark can be in movies where his characters and the writing is so self-aware, but he himself seems to have no self-awareness at all. And I can't tell if he is like smart or not. Maybe he has savvy about the projects he takes, or because I don't think he's very smart. I think if whatever, dude, fucking. I don't think he has a sense of humor about himself even. He got so mad at Andy Samberg's portrayal of him, but then he reads Pain and Gain, and it's like...
Yeah, but then he did a sketch where he did it, and it was funny.
That's true. I was just watching Departed, and it's funny, Mark almost didn't take that movie. He's like, I don't get it. What's with that? Why am I not the star? But he's great in that movie. He's really good. Mark Wahlberg is kind of like a tool, I think, and some directors can use the tool really, really well.
Yes, and some people are M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. The Toxin? The Toxin? Ooh, scary bees. Do you like M. Night? How do you stand on M. Night?
I think he accidentally makes really good movies sometimes, and sometimes misses like a. Wait,
I thought Split was actually really good.
Yeah, I did too. Shoots his shots.
Yeah, that's another guy. I think I like M. Night because it's an M. Night movie. Sometimes the dialogue can be really bad, but it's only bad. It's a bad specifically in a way.
And you want to talk about an actor who's a tool that can be used great and can be used wrong. Bruce Willis.
Yes. Oh my god.
So many bad movies, but then when he's good, he's great.
He's incredible. Pulp Fiction, fucking Unbreakable. He's used incredibly, and Willis, man, Cop Out. He's used incredibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like Dr. Sleep, I saw the trailer for it or whatever, and I thought there was some bad dialogue in the trailer. Like, my friend Nick pointed out, he was like, there's a scene where someone's like, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head, which is like such like, oh, fuck, like B- horror movie, like script writing.
I haven't read Dr. Sleep yet. I'm nervous to.
Yeah.
I've heard very good things.
Oh, really?
That it's a good book. Now, I've also heard
the movie
it departs massively from that. It's not a Shining sequel. It's just Danny's next thing.
Right.
To me, and maybe it's the advertising campaign, Dr. Sleep, the movie, looks like, hey, do you remember The Shining?
Yeah, I mean,
here's
completely.
some more of that shit.
Yeah, I think in the trailer, like, I think that literally someone's almost like, you remember The Shining?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you wrote this into the movie. Remember Kubrick?
Yeah. So, like, I'll say it, but I almost want to read it. I probably should read it first.
Dr. Sleep?
Yeah, I want to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I just bought the new one, The Institute, the News King book, and I'm dying. Like, I'm super pumped on that because it's I love Firestarter. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I haven't.
It's an amazing book. It's a very good, very poorly cast movie. So in the book, the main bad guy is a one-eyed Native American.
Yeah, nice.
And in the movie, it's George C. Scott.
Oh, hell yeah.
As a Native American.
That's awesome.
It's horribly miscast.
That's awesome.
It's a fun movie, but this new book takes place where the main character was like held, which is like a facility where they do testing on kids with psychic abilities.
Oh shit!
I'm really pumped.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in kind of a renaissance for horror movies in a lot of ways. Like I've seen a lot of. I feel like there's been a lot of really good mainstream horror movies come out in the last few years.
Yeah, and they're giving them a little more money and they're letting them show off. I think Ari Aster really started that, or excuse me, not started, but really took advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's her theory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know like he's conflicting, but I think Ari Aster is like by far my favorite, like direct, like no genre excluded, like my favorite new director. Like he's one of the only guys.
I'll see anything he does.
Exactly, he's the only guy in the last, I want to say almost 10 years, 5 or 10 years. No, S. Craig Zoller too. But S. Craig Zoller, Ari Aster, I'm seeing anything they do. I'm more pumped for Ari movies. I'd probably actually rank him above S. Craig. But yeah, I'm seeing everything he does. Although I am not excited to watch the 3-hour Midsommar director's cut. I will wait for, I think, DVD for that.
Yeah, it seems a little self-indulgent.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be excited to watch it at home. But
is Zoller the guy that dragged through concrete?
Yeah,
okay, yeah. That I was pumped on that too.
Did you watch that?
That was
I thought it fucking
awesome.
raw. Isn't it great? It's Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn. If you haven't watched it, my friend Eric said it's like S. Craig's like Tarantino without the jokes and irony, and it's fucking awesome. It's Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn is like conservative reactionary cops. And the twists and turns, the action and crime.
I want to say he also wrote the new Puppet Master.
Did he?
Which
I read about
Reich.
that. Yeah, the smallest Reich or
which
whatever.
I really liked.
Is that a Fangoria movie or something?
Yeah,
that's cool. That's funny. He wrote that. That's hilarious.
He got it. He understood the Puppet Master mythology.
I gotta watch that. That sounds great.
I mean, I don't know if he watched all of them. It doesn't matter if you watch all of them. There's 11 of them.
Yeah,
and one of them is actually just clips from all the other ones spliced together. Big up Charles Band. You fucking.
But yeah, he also did Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Which was amazing.
It's beautiful. That movie is fucking awesome.
Vince Vaughn gets mad at his wife, so he beats up her car.
The scene where he beats up a car is, I was like, I'm in.
His
fucking
wife cheats
in.
on him, so he fucking beats up the car because he can't hit a woman. It's everything you need to know about that character.
Yeah.
It means he is a ball of rage.
Yeah.
But he would never hit a woman.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a little, I feel like the guy movie is a lost art, and he makes great, like, because like I was watching Heat, and I was like, this is like such a great, and I'm not saying like girls can't like it, but guy movies like fucking masculine crime, fucking that kind of thing or whatever, and that that is kind of a lost art, and I think he's like kind of doing a throwback to those kinds of movies, but on like kind of a smaller budget scale, but using great actors. Like I think Vince Vaughn gives into.
I feel like he's the first person in the history of Vince Vaughn to go, this guy's fucking huge.
Yeah.
They go, why is he a nebbishy fucking con man? This guy's like 6'4".
Yeah.
Like, fuck, have him work out for a month.
Action star Vince Vaughn.
And shave it. But he's great.
Yeah.
He's so good in Brawl in Cell Block 99.
I think that's his best performance he's ever done.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I watched it, I'm like, I want more. He's kind of like Tarantino in that he can put anyone in a movie and you're like, and he can convince you that even someone washed up is in the world the biggest movie star in the world. He writes them like they're the biggest movie star in the world and convinces you that that's the case. Like Jackie Brown, you think Robert Forster's a big star when you watch that. It's fucking. I think that's so inventive in the writing. I love when a guy. It's a auteur again. You watch S. Craig Zahler, you watch Ari Aster, that's their fucking movie.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And it can backfire. I watched this movie, Bad Times at the El Royale. Mm-hmm. Fucking horrible. It was
I really liked it, but it wasn't. It very much was trying to be other people's movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why I didn't like it. And I know people did like it. You're not alone in that. I just thought it was it was trying to be Tarantino, different kinds of Tarantino. And the thing about Tarantino is his movies are already movies about movies. Mm-hmm. And so when you write a movie that's a Tarantino, it's a movie about a movie about a movie. It's like a Tim and Eric. It kind of reminds me of Tim and Eric. Like it's like trying to make a comedy sketch about a Tim and Eric sketch. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just it was too wacky, and I think it was a little. I also don't like movies that are very satisfied with themselves, which is back to the Rob Zombie thing. I don't think he's like, and those movies are never like, how great are we?
Yeah.
They're always like, is that fucking sick? Maybe, but it's never like, ooh, like when what's his name, Chris, whatever shows up. What's his name, Chris something.
Hemsworth?
Yeah, was that Hemsworth? I always get them mixed up. When he shows up, he's like, "Hey, I'm this character," and like it was like 4 months earlier. It's like, was my mind supposed to be blown? Like, am I like, oh, this famous person is this role that you? Is like, okay, I don't care. I don't care about Chris Hemsworth that much. He's not that big of a star.
Well, it was them trying to do when who's the guy that was in the basement the whole time in Hateful Eight?
Oh, Channing Tatum.
They were trying to do. That's what I felt like they were trying to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like,
that the bit was that Channing Tatum has been in the basement the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I was like, all right, I saw the Hateful Eight, and the Hateful Eight pulled it off with a little bit more. I don't know. This is a weird thing to say for Tarantino, but a little more tact. Like, it was a little bit less tacky about it. It was like, it didn't shove it in your face that it's like, how cool is this? That it's Channing. It's like. Hateful Eight is like, oh fuck, that's fucking Channing Tatum.
I would compare them both just because they both take place in one location like that.
Yeah,
and it's the time split, and they're both kind of written like plays.
Yeah, I will say I do love that kind of thing. I do like Reservoir Dogs is really cool because it's all one place. Bad Times is cool because it is all one place. And I mean, and I thought the set design of Bad Times was really cool. I thought that room was really cool to look at. But I thought just the script was like...
I'm just very easily sad. Like, I like movies.
Yeah.
Even if I don't love a movie, I'm like, I'm glad I watched that. I like watching movies.
Me too.
I'm not one of those people that bitches and moans about stuff. I'm not a critic.
I do hate people who, like, seem to really want to hate movies. And this goes back to, like, the people who hate comedy. I think there's a lot of people that want to tear down any comic and hate comedy. And, like, they love hearing about, ooh, that guy sucks. That guy bombed. He sucks. And, I get into it because I get bitter, too, or whatever. But the part of me that's still a fanboy is like, I like that part of me, and I'm happier, I think, when I'm occupy that space in my mind, And that's like the thing with Shane. It was like, honestly, I'm sad to see that go down as a fan because I'm just like a fan of his. And like as a guy who's just a fan of someone, you want to see the best for him. And to see that shit go down is sad. And, when a director I really like I'm not rooting for them to release a Turkey. I wanted Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be great, and it was, luckily. But if it had been bad, I would have been bummed out. I would have been like, ha, fucking that asshole fucked up, and that movie sucks, And there are people like that. They were rooting for Tarantino to miss, and he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's so unlikable. It's amazing. He keeps nailing it.
I love those guys, because I'm going to be that guy, hopefully, someday. Oh, I fucking hate him as a guy. But his work is good. I don't like his face, and his personality is off-putting, but I like his art. Seth MacFarlane's not a guy like that. All right, we got to wrap up. Do you have anything to plug, man, or any last?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram, Zach is not funny. Check out my 2 podcasts, Real Ass Podcast, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on GasDigitalNetwork.com, as well as Zac Amico's Midnight Spook Show every Friday at midnight. Comics sitting down, watching horror movies, B-movies, and genre movies, talking through the whole thing. Sometimes don't even watch the movie. And those all go on YouTube about 5 days later.
Yeah. And by B-movies, he means he watched the Jerry Seinfeld movie, B-movie, every week. Yeah, every week. I've done both. Both tons of fun. And, At Robbie Goodwin on Twitter, Instagram, and please rate, subscribe, and review because it helps a lot. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. See ya next week.
Thank you for having me, man.
Dude, that was great. Thank you. You were a great guest. Yeah, thank you. And thanks for bearing with me.